Apologies for being late. I'd like to call the July meeting of the Albany County Legislature's Health Committee meeting to order. We do have some items on the agenda tonight that might result in some discussion, so I would like to take some items out of order. First off, I'd like to have Rebecca call the roll.
Sure, Mr. Chairman. Ray Joyce.
Present.
Reedy.
Here.
Mr. Beston, Miller, and Ward are all excused this evening. Collins.
Here.
McLean Lane.
Here.
Moriello. And Willingham.
Present.
Five present, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thanks, Rebecca. Under previous business, can I get a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes? Motion made by Alan McLean Lane, second by Ms. Willingham. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And again, I'm going to take some items out of order just under current business. I'd like to move right to 6. So I'd like to call up the Health Department of Health first. Number 6, amending the 2023 Department of Health budget, public health strengthening infrastructure, workforce, and data systems funding. Good evening, Dr. Whalen. And
Good evening, Chairman. Good evening, everyone. So we are here this evening to request this budget amendment for the grant, which is Public Health Strengthening Infrastructure, Workforce, Data Systems. This is funding from the CDC. It reflects award that we received for the first grant period ending November, which will end November 30th, and $14,000 for the second grant period, which will end November 30th.
Dr. Whalen, any questions from the committee? Okay. Can we get a motion to move?
Motion.
Ms. Williams, Mr. Reedy, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And I'm going to jump to number 8 only because we have Dr. Whalen here. A late submission, it's on Granicus, but it might not be in the agenda. Authorizing the acceptance of donated dental equipment and supplies.
Thank you. So this is St. Peter's Dental Clinic is closing, as many of you may be aware. They are not going to have any more dental services. Our dental hygienist, supervising dental hygienist, was reached out by one of their staff and asked if, we would like the donation of some of their equipment. And one of the things that our staff is really interested in looking at is an X-ray digital sensor that goes with our medical record compatibility. So at this point, we've gotten notice from St. Peter's that they're taking inventory and they will let us know what they have available, but we wanted to just make sure that we could accept those donations when they are available.
So this is a motion to accept the donated equipment. Motion by, first off, any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion by Ellen McLean Lane, second by Mr. Reedy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Before we move into current business, or to the local laws, I should say, I'll move into number 7 for the Department of Mental Health. How are you?
Good, how are you?
For Dr. Giordano.
Dr. Giordano was unable to make it tonight, so hopefully I will be able to adequately represent the committee.
Welcome. Number 7, amending the 2023 Department of Mental Health budget, ACORD funding.
Yes, thank you very much. So I'm here to discuss a budget amendment to the CDBG grant, which is a community block grant through Home and Community Renewals. Last month, it went for an extension to the Audit and Finance Committee, and it was extended, I believe, from May to December 29th. And basically what the issue is the grant has around $300,000 for our department's portion of the grant. We've spent a good portion of that, but there's about $55,000 or so that was dedicated to workforce. However, because of workforce challenges and vacancies, we're requesting permission to reallocate that to needed resources for the different projects that we're engaged in for high-need individuals. And I'm happy to answer any questions about that.
Sure. So do we have any questions from the committee? For the meeting, having no questions, can we get a motion to move?
Motion.
By Ms. Willingham, second by Mr. Collins, all in favor?
Aye.
Any
Thank you very
opposed?
much.
Thank you. All right, back to the local laws. We'll move to number 2, public hearing and proposed local law number F for 2023, a local law of the County of Albany, New York, amending Chapter 106 of the Albany County Code, setting forth requirements for location of substance abuse treatment facilities within Albany County.
And I would note that the language has been updated on Granicus
Yes.
for the requests made last month.
Yes.
like there were 2 requests and we accommodated, like sort of a notification.
Yep, an email
Yeah,
notification.
and then also superintendents instead of, yep.
Sally, any questions from the committee?
No, make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Collins, second by Ellie McLean-Lane, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Number 3, public hearing on proposed local law number G for 2023, a local law of the County of Albany, New York, amending Chapter 242 of the Albany County Code to prohibit the use, smoking, and vaping of tobacco or cannabis products at county properties and in county vehicles.
May I just make a comment?
Sure.
Is that all right? So I had been actually reviewing studies on cannabis, secondhand smoke and thirdhand smoke, whether vaping or smoking from cannabis, and they're actually finding it in the children who are exposed to this, even if an adult steps outside, et cetera, or comes back inside and then, you know, they're smoking it during the day, come in, touch a child, et cetera, they're finding it in children's bloodstreams. And 43%, in fact. Even if they're not in the presence, so I think that this further shows that I believe that this is an important thing that we do, to specifically lay out that cannabis is not something that we can smoke or vape on any county property whatsoever.
Did we clarify the enforcement of this yet?
Yes, we had discussed it a bit last time, and my understanding was that there was no recommended changes, because as it was being kept with the Department of Health as opposed to being a criminally enforced matter. Because there was some indication that perhaps we should treat employees differently than other people, which of course we cannot do.
And usually it's just a complaint is made, and then it's looked into, and then, of course, reach out, and then somebody can, you know, issue a violation. But usually it's just, please excuse yourself from the premises, if it's not an employee.
Okay, this is again just on the public hearing. Questions?
Yes.
Sorry.
Based upon comments from my colleague, Ms. McLean-Lane,
Let me thought it goes by so I can hear you.
I have a question in regards to, right now, there are certain things, there are statements, warnings put on cigarette packs, okay? And so my question is, does cannabis fall under that yet? And is there a warning for that?
Are you referring to the Surgeon General's warning that goes on the
Yes.
site? Not to my knowledge yet, I don't believe, because it's still illegal federally, cannabis use and
Surgeon
marijuana
General
use.
is not issuing it
Yeah.
because it's illegal.
So even though they're not prosecuting it, it's still illegal at the federal level, even though some states have chosen to decriminalize.
There is also quite a bit of state legislation out there regarding cannabis. You know, a little bit of this is that it was legalized before any sort of regulation was put into place.
So then this is, which brings up another question then. If it's only, it's legal in the state, but this is strictly for where it will be smoked, is that right? That's the question.
This is basically just for county property, which
Only-
including,
only
only for
county
county property, because we have no ability to state, you know, in the county of Albany, private property or other property, otherwise say state property, et cetera, we have no authority at this point.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I just have one more question. I thought that we had passed legislation in regards to smoking in,
Multi-use buildings.
yes. And so how do these two,
In that local law, which was maybe 2 years ago now, we included marijuana in that. So that, in a multi-use dwelling, you cannot smoke within, you know, a given distance of vents and within a given distance of the common area. So that's already taken care of. But this is solely, this is for both tobacco and cannabis, and it covers all county properties and county vehicles as well.
but this law that you just stated does cover,
It does include marijuana.
oh, okay, all right. Thank you, Ms. Clinton.
We were looking
Thank you,
forward to
Rebecca.
that.
Is it too late for me to get on this?
Never.
Oh, I'm,
Oh, sure.
And again, this is just on the public hearing. I thought I recalled Dr. Whalen expressing some concerns about enforcement of this.
She expressed some concerns about enforcement, but I think when our council advised, it's not like we're going to be sending complaint after complaint after complaint over to the health department for investigation. If it involves employees, that's really an HR matter, just as any other matter would be. Additionally, if it is a a non-employee member of the general public, they can just be asked to leave the premises.
All right, again, we're on number 3, the public hearing only. So any other questions for Ally? Hearing none, can we get a motion to move? Motion made by Mr. Reedy, second by Elaine McLean. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, do we table the local laws themselves until after the public hearing, or do we not? Okay. Yep, so like I was just asking Rebecca, since these are in public hearing, we are going to table these, number 4 and number 5, the actual local laws for these public hearings until after the public hearing. So with that, is it on the agenda? Can we get a motion to adjourn?
well,
Motion by Ms. Rowland, second Mr. Collins, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you.